today I'm back with another delicious tea. I really just wanted to share this one because I feel like this story really spoke to me. So it's the story of Ruth, like the book of Ruth. Um, I love this book. Like, I must confess, I've never actually read this book before, honestly. But as I was going through it, I was just thinking, this book is nothing like what I expected. Like, usually when I hear the story of Ruth, I'm just thinking, okay, cool, it's about how Ruth met her husband and they got married, da 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 da. Like, you know, that whole girl meets boy, boy meets girl love story thing. So I thought I was gonna read a romance. I was going through my Bible study guide and I thought, oh, I'm reading Ruth tomorrow. I was like, okay, cool. But then when I say this story is powerful, like, each chapter had like a different lesson. For me, I feel like it was more about character traits and character traits that I need to develop for myself, like characteristics, and it was just beautiful. So I'm gonna go through it and I'm gonna go through what I got from each chapter, like the themes I got and whatever, and the lessons basically, and I'm just gonna share with you guys. I really want you guys to go and read this for yourself, study for yourself, let me know what you got from it for yourself, and come back and tell me. Let's have discussions, whatever. So yeah. So in chapter 1, we're introduced to the family. So basically you have Naomi, you have her husband, let me read that, Elimelech. They had 2 sons, and they moved to Moab because they were living in Judah, like Bethlehem, and at the time the place was going through famine, so they were like, okay, let's get out of here, let's go to Moab where there's more. So they went to Moab, and then the husband died, unfortunately, and then the sons got married to Orpah and Ruth, and then a couple years later the sons died, which is really sad. So life came really fast at Naomi. Like, she lost her husband, she lost her sons. She's thinking, rah. Then Naomi gets word that Judah's back to having food, like famine's done, whatever, they recovered. So she's like to her daughters-in-law, like, you lot stay here, and I'll just go back. Like, I have nothing to offer you guys. I'm old, can't have children anymore, so I have no more sons for you lot to marry. Like, you may as well go find your own husbands, go back to your families. Like, we're done. She even exclaims in verse 11, like, God has dealt with me bitterly. Like, she was done, which is a natural response to death, right? Like, you feel dispirited, you feel hopeless, heartbroken. At this point, she's a widow, she's poor, she's a woman, which makes it even worse in them times. So it's like, what does she have? But when I look at how Ruth dealt with it, just because she had lost her dad or whatever, she just lost her husband, it's still as painful because death is never easy to deal with. But the way Ruth dealt with it compared to the way Naomi dealt with it, Ruth was probably going through all the same emotions. She was dispirited, she was sad, she was heartbroken. Ruth too was probably poor. When Naomi told her to go back, Ruth said, no, I'm not going back. Orpah got tired. She said, you know, I ain't been arguing, let me just go back. But Ruth said, no, I'm coming with you. Like, she actually said, I'm coming with you. And the lesson I got from this was tenacity. Tenacious. My mom actually said she was going to call me Tenacity. Back in the day, I used to think, oh, that's such an ugly name. How dare you even have thought to call me Tenacity? Sorry if your name's Tenacity. But that's when I didn't know what being tenacious was. So I was like, so when I found out, I was like, oh, But when I see Ruth, like, basically being tenacious is like being persevering, never giving up, being persistent, wanting to go on. So from chapter 1, the lesson I got was, yeah, cool, something's happened to you, you've now walked into a circumstance that you ain't even feeling, but it's like, do I react like Naomi and be like, oh well, God has dealt with me bitterly, I ain't even liking that? Like I said in my last video, sometimes we get a bit too comfy, and then when something comes to shake us up, we get a bit aggy. But Ruth said, nah. I don't even know if Ruth believed in God, because she was a Moabite, innit? But because she was in that family, you never know. But she picked herself up despite her circumstance, and she said, no, I'm not giving up. I'm going to come with you. Again, even to a foreign land, a land she don't even know what's going to go on. But she said, I ain't staying in my circumstance. She said, I'm not going to wallow in the misery. She's going to step out of her comfort zone and go on and go forth. And I think, like, that's what we need to do when we do face problems. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to cry and feel, but you can't stay there. You need to pick yourself up and go. You might fail, but I feel like failure is a mindset. cool, you failed at that point, but you only become a failure if you stay where you are and you don't pick yourself back up and go on. So yeah, that's the lesson I got from chapter 1. So now chapter 2. So at the end of chapter 1, Naomi and Ruth reach when the people are harvesting the barley, right? So in this part of the story is when we meet the famous Boaz, who funnily enough was related to Naomi's husband. Ruth went to go work in the field to collect barley, and coincidentally, to be honest, I actually don't believe in coincidences. So like, for me, I feel like everything happens for a reason. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1 actually says like, to everything there is a time under the sun, basically. Like, there's a season for everything. So I feel like that was no coincidence, as we will see when we get to chapter 4. It was just no coincidence. Yeah. So when he sees her, he then tells her all the nice things he's heard about her. He then gives her food. He gives her water. He tells all his workers, no, don't touch her. Like, leave her alone. Let her do what she's got to do. It's just calm. So she takes the food back now. She goes back to Naomi. She tells Naomi everything. She tells her about Boaz. And obviously Naomi tells her, oh, wow, Boaz is one of our kinsmen. Like, he's a part of our family. And then, yeah, that's essentially chapter 2. Is it not? Yeah. So the lesson that I got from this chapter, firstly, was about humility. So Ruth essentially humbled herself and went to go work in a field, picking up what people dropped so she could take back to her mother-in-law. So when you humble yourself, you receive blessings. Like, yeah, when you humble yourself, you receive blessings. Like, even in Matthew 5 verse 5, Jesus said, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Like, I feel like my girl humbled herself. She took herself to work. She ended up coming back with food. She got fed there on site. She got given water. Like, no stress was on her head. Like, it was just calm. Another lesson I got from this was the way you behave. Oh my gosh, the people are watching you. The fact that Boaz in verse 11 was able to say to her, yeah, people have told me this, da 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 da, I've seen you, listen, people are watching you. The way you move, the way you speak, the way you act, how are you doing these things? Because I remember, like, time and time again, I've heard a quote about, what is it? You might be the only Jesus that anyone ever gets to meet. So are you behaving like Jesus? Are you striving to be like Jesus? When people hear your name, do they screw up their face and roll their eyes, or do they smile and be like, oh, that's such a nice person? Do you know what I mean? Like, and I ain't saying do these things just because. Don't act, but do these things because, I don't know, like, that should just be what you strive to be anyway, a nice person. Are you a person of integrity? Are you a person of morals and value? Like, Ruth was a woman of integrity. The things that Boaz was able to say about her, like, she clearly had positive morals and values to stay with her mother-in-law and help take care of her. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, and also don't act, like I said, be yourself, because everything that's done in the dark, if it needs to come to light, it will most certainly come to light. Yeah. Oh yeah, guys, I won't lie, the window's open because my room is hot. But so if you hear any music or whatever, that's the neighbours. Thank you. So yeah, chapter 3. So in this chapter, I don't even know what happened. Like, basically Naomi tells Ruth to dress up, put on her perfume, her best clothes, whatever, and go and do something for Boaz. To be honest, the task that she instructed her to do, it really confuses me. I don't know what it was. I just know that it involves feet, and I don't like feet personally, so but I know that it was something like whatever. And then basically after the task, she said, like, when you do this, Boaz will give you further instructions. Ruth, without even batting an eyelid, she said, yeah, let me go do it, and she done it. And sure enough, Boaz gave her further instructions. And then at the end of the chapter, Naomi basically tells Ruth to be patient, as if she knows what's coming next. So basically, oh yeah, I forgot to say, what Boaz said to Ruth when she done it was basically, 1, stay the night, not to do nothing naughty, but to rest on the floor. 2, he basically gave her a promise, and so basically they had another kinsman in like the area, and he was like, if he doesn't do this thing for you, then I'll do it for you. And 3, he gave her more food to take back to Naomi. So In this chapter, what I saw was obedience, faith, and again, humility. Ruth, without hesitation, takes heed to her mother-in-law's instructions and does exactly what she says. As I said, she just, in verse 5, she says, I'll do whatever you want me to do, essentially. Like, she just gets up and she does it without batting an eyelid. The humility and obedience, once again, they reap reward. So basically, what I got from this is when we are obedient to God, He will reward you. But the thing is, we shouldn't obey God because we want to be rewarded. When you look at Ruth, because she was a woman of integrity, I don't even think that she obeyed Naomi to get something back. The mere fact that she followed Naomi to a foreign land definitely did not want to get something back. I think she genuinely loved and cared about Naomi as her mother-in-law, even her own mother at that point. And that's why she wanted to obey her, because she trusted her. She had that faith in her, that love for her. And I feel like that's why we need to obey God, not because we want something, but genuinely because we love Him, we care for Him, we trust Him. That's why He put rules in place, because He loves us. And that's why we love Him, because He loved us first. Wow, that's a bit mad. But yeah, that's essentially it. And that's what I got from this chapter. And it was just small revelations was just coming out of the story, you know, like, it was mad. So my favorite, chapter 4. We finally come to the conclusion of everything. So remember, at the end of chapter 3, Naomi essentially told Ruth, be patient and see the outcome of what you've done. So in chapter 4, all we see now is blessings upon blessings upon blessings. Like, it's just beautiful. So basically, Boaz, as he himself was a man of integrity, look at everything that he done through from whatever, he kept his promise, which is no surprise. So he went to find the kinsmen. They had that discussion. He was like to him, basically the promise was, Naomi and Ruth had land that essentially belonged to Naomi's husband, and what Boaz wanted to do was to get the kinsman to buy it so that it could stay within the family. Do you know what I mean? So he also had to marry Ruth so it could stay within the family. But the kinsman essentially said he ain't in a position to, for selfish reasons. So he said, no, thank you, I'm not going to do it. So Boaz said, as he said to Ruth yesterday, if he doesn't do it, I'll do it. So Boaz done it. And in the end, Boaz ended up marrying Ruth. And so, hi! Wow, it's a bit mad. I'm even stuttering. So let me go back to my notes, please. So the lesson I got from this chapter, well, essentially the whole thing, right, was that, wow, what's wrong with me? Is that it just shows the benefits and the fruits you reap when you fall but you get back up. When you don't allow circumstance to overcome. When you trust in God and find restoration. When you are patient in the midst of tribulation for God's hand to work. Ruth went from being heartbroken, dejected, poor, a widow, to now, she had a rich man for her husband, amen. She was a wife. She got the land, so she ain't poor no more. My girl even got a son, as in, what's his name? Obed? Yeah, I'm gonna say his name was Obed. So basically, I'm not even trying to say that you always reap physical benefits, but you'll reap something more than that, like eternal benefits, spiritual and emotional benefits. Like, the blessings that you get, like, it might not be a husband, might not be a wife, might not be gold, might not be silver, might not be jewels, might not be Chanel, might not be Balenciaga, but it is something better. Like, a year ago, it's funny, literally tomorrow, today's Monday, right? Yeah, bruh, this corona got me forgetting what day it is. But yeah, today's Monday, so a year ago tomorrow, I went through something really, even think of it, if I don't laugh, I'll go mad. I went through something really traumatic. And even when I reflect on it, the behaviours that I started to display, the mindset that I started to adapt, me, myself, I was Naomi. I was thinking, no, I'm done. Like, I was the Naomi we met in chapter 1, by the way. I was like, no, I'm done. Like, this is a bit mad. Like, whoo, the mindset, it was damaging myself, not even anyone else. It was damaging myself. But then I got to a point where I just had to pray to be able to forgive that person, to be able to forgive myself, to be able to let go of hate, to be able to, for God to clean my heart, for God to come back into my heart so that I wouldn't experience those things anymore, for peace, for just stillness. Do you know what I mean? And this is what I'm seeing in this story. Like, when you accept that living water that Jesus offered that woman at the well, it is mad. Because the mindset that I had then versus the mindset I have now, listen, when it comes to situations like that, I have peace that passes all understanding. Maybe not in every situation, but similar situations to that, or things surrounding that. And it's so crazy how when you accept God, I can't even, guys, I can't explain it. But when I was reading the story of Ruth, I just saw myself, like, maybe not the characteristics, but definitely the outcome. And I know that in order to receive more outcomes like that, I need to adopt these characteristics. I need to be faithful, I need to be humble, I need to be obedient, I need to be a woman of integrity. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I have principles and morals, I need to not stray from those principles and morals. I need to uphold those principles and morals. In fact, I shouldn't even be scared to let everyone else know that these are my principles and morals, and this is what I stand by. So even when people go to chat about me like they did to Boaz, everyone else can see that that is a girl of principle and morals. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was a bit mad. But yeah, I don't know where to stop. Oh yeah! Moreover, not only does this story show what God can do for you when you allow him in your life, but how he can also bless you so that you can bless others. Because look at Naomi. Look at the Naomi we met in chapter 1 versus the Naomi we leave in chapter 4. In chapter 1, Naomi was a bit but in chapter 4, her joy had been restored. Her husband's land saved, her loved one is happy, a grandchild is given to her, all because Ruth had faith and demonstrated all those traits. The story was literally just beautiful. And again, I'm literally begging that go back, read it, study it, come talk to me. Like, oh my gosh, thank you for listening though. Like, guys, let's read our Bibles. In this time, I just feel like we need hope, and the hope is found in the word. And you know, listen, please. But yeah, I don't know how to end this video properly because I'm getting really emotional. But yeah, and also you can hear people have come here and bare nights. So I'm gonna just say bye guys for now. I don't know when I'm gonna do the next video because I have pure assignments. So yeah, thank you for watching my video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe and share, and just let me know your thoughts. So yeah, bye.